In this video, we're breaking down Clover and Hive, one of the most affordable home builders in the Kansas City area. We'll break down the locations, what goes into these homes, and of course, some of their huge financial incentives that reduce the amount of money you have to bring to the closing table. Let's get started. Most of the time for single family new construction homes, at least in Kansas City, you're looking at a price tag of upper 400s, lower 500s, and several different places across the metro area. But Clover and Hive brings those single family new construction homes down to a very reasonable price range of around $300,000, and they go all the way up to the upper 400,000s. Now, the entire business model is based around making it easier for people to accomplish that goal of home ownership, and that's something that we haven't really seen when it comes to new homes, since the prices are generally quite a bit more expensive. It really comes down to the footprint of these homes. So I'll show you some examples on the screen, but most of these homes are anywhere from like 1,200 square feet all the way up to 2,200 square feet. These are not the typical 2,500 square foot new construction home that you'll see in a lot of new home communities around the Kansas City area. Now, in terms of the materials, yes, they're not using the same materials you'd see in like $1 million home, but you're going to find the same 9-foot ceilings that you'll find in a lot of other older pre-existing homes that are in this price range. In fact, a good portion of those homes are just going to have 8-foot ceilings, so that those 9-foot ceilings really make a big difference and make the space, the smaller footprint of the home, feel a lot bigger. Now, all of these homes have a nice deck in the backyard, and I'll show you some footage. This was actually at Kobe Creek in Lee Summit, and we'll break down the locations here in just a minute. Now, there is a huge advantage to working with Clover and Hive if timeline is an issue, and we'll break that down later in this video, but just know that they have several different floor plans ranging from your classic 2-story. They also have split level floor plans, which are very common in pre-existing homes, but not many new homes will have split level floor plans. And of course, they have your classic ranch or reverse 1.5 if you do choose to finish the basement. We will go one by one through all of the huge advantages of working with Clover and Hive, but first, I want to give you some background on the company, how their business model is structured, and who they are. So Clover and Hive is owned by Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's holding company. Warren Buffett actually acquired Summit Homes, who's the biggest home builder in Kansas City, just a few years back. So Summit happens to be the biggest home builder, building around 300 plus homes every year. Of course, it does fluctuate, but the big difference is Summit is going to build your bigger homes. They're also going to develop entire communities. Clover and Hive, yes, does the same thing, but their entire business is structured around building affordable homes. So in a lot of the Summit communities that you'll see, you'll also see Clover and Hive building. So here's a picture that'll show you all of the locations. Long story short, they're mostly based out of Missouri. They're mostly building on the Missouri side. In fact, all of the footage that you're seeing in this video was filmed in Kobe Creek, which is near Lake Winnebago. Now, they also do build in Overland Park and South Point, but there aren't a ton of homes there left, and it also falls in the Spring Hill School District. So if you're looking for the Blue Valley School District, it's a little too far south for that, but you do have those excellent schools in Lee Summit, and they build in several locations throughout Lee Summit, including Lake Lotawana. They also build in Raymore. They've got another brand new subdivision coming to Raymore, and of course they build in Blue Springs, who also has a really highly rated school district as well. Now, the huge advantages of working with Summit. So right now they're offering a $10,000 incentive, which basically says if you come to the closing table, you're under contract to buy a home with Summit, and you use their lender, you're going to get $10,000 of credit at the closing table, or $6,000, whatever it is. If it changes over time, go ahead and reach out to me. All my contact info is below, and I can get you that updated incentive. And what that allows you to do is, instead of coming out of pocket with a huge down payment, or coming out of pocket paying for your closing costs on the loan, or maybe you've got those covered and you just want to upgrade some of the finishes inside of the home, that's $10,000 that you get to use right then and there to cover the cost of all of those things. And of course, when it comes to housing affordability, one of the biggest issues is actually making that money and coming out of pocket to put that down payment up, and so you can get your mortgage. They've solved that problem for a lot of people. It's one of the biggest advantages to working with them. Now, number two is that there are no escalation clauses. So you can choose to purchase a home that's already built, and that's most likely going to be the case if you're on a strict timeline and you want to move in right away. Most builders, when you choose to build a home, will have an escalation clause, which means if the price increases for materials or labor or whatever it might be during the build project, then the buyer ends up having to cover those costs. With Clover and Hive, they've eliminated that altogether. So when you sign that contract, that number on the dotted line, that's the number at the closing table too, which builds in a ton of reassurance to you and protects you even if prices do go up, which let's face it, there are a lot of materials that go into building homes. It's very likely that prices will fluctuate. This provides a huge layer of security for you.
So one of the most popular things that Clover and Hive does when it comes to building is they solve one of the biggest problems, which is the time to build a home like this. In fact, a home of this size would probably take around 8 months, from permitting to excavation to pouring the foundation. What Clover and Hive does is they actually start all of these homes. They get to the foundation stage. So once you find a floor plan that you like, they've already most likely got one at the foundation stage. But overall, what this does is it shortens your timeline to build and move into that home from that 8 to 10 months. It shortens it down to 3 to 4 months, which is a huge benefit.
Now, advantage number 4 to building with Clover and Hive, one of the most stressful parts is picking out all of the selection. It is quite difficult, and it's different when you're like looking at the pictures online versus seeing the materials firsthand in person. So what Clover and Hive has done is they have 4 different packages that you get to choose, and you can customize beyond this, to my understanding, but these are the general 4 packages, which means you don't have to choose the ticky-tacky little decisions like what type of material here or there, etc. They've got them all lined out for you. They've worked with a design team to curate all of these, and they both have a standard version and an upgraded version. Now, in this final part of the video, I want to discuss kind of some of my observations just from walking in these, would I recommend these homes to a client, and who are these best for. So I'm going to show some footage from one of their homes so you can get a good idea of exactly what it looks like, and we'll kind of break all of that down. So first things first, the biggest value here is convenience. They've solved a lot of issues that people normally deal with when they're building homes. They've also made it a lot more affordable, way easier to get into one of these homes by minimizing how much money you have to bring to the closing table. I think in terms of the price, in terms of the amenities that you get in these communities, you're getting into a newer home that, yes, is going to cost more than a pre-existing home, but you also won't have to deal with the really big worry of having to maintain an old HVAC system or potentially repair a roof, because you've got a home warranty on any of the homes that you purchase, which covers you bumper to bumper year 1, and then up to 10 years, they warranty the structure of the property. So one, way less worry in terms of just maintaining the house, worrying about things breaking. Now, the second big benefit is your utility bills are going to go down as well, because now you've got brand new systems that are energy efficient and built for 2023's living standard. So that can have a really profound impact that a lot of times is just overlooked in the beginning, especially when we're usually looking at pre-existing homes first. Now, of course, there's a right and a wrong home for pretty much anybody out there. Everybody has a different value system. I think there's certainly value in this home, but you have to see that value. And if you don't see that value, you don't see it. And most likely a pre-existing home would be a better option. But if you're looking for something brand new, then all of the advantages we've discussed make sense, then go ahead, reach out to me. All my contact info is in the description. We can find the best one for you. I can take you through the building process so that you know that you're not only getting the right price, but you're also getting the best deal possible. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to see future videos breaking down all different builders, communities, and the Kansas City real estate market. I will see you on the next video.